The camera pans across a quiet suburban high school parking lot, laughter echoes, sneakers scuff the pavement, and then, a sharp cry. A girl's backpack is ripped from her shoulders. Books spill everywhere. 3 boys laugh cruelly as she struggles to pick them up. Then, from the corner of the lot, footsteps. Heavy, steady, deliberate. A man in a faded army jacket steps into the frame, ice cold as steel, jaw clenched. He doesn't shout. Doesn't threaten. He just says 6 words that silence everyone. Pick up those books. Right now. The boys turn, ready to mouth off, until they see his gaze. Something in it makes their laughter die instantly. The girl looks up, tears trembling in her eyes, and that's how it began. The story of Daniel Hayes, a war veteran, a single father, and a man still fighting his own battles, and Emma, the quiet new girl who reminded him that sometimes, courage isn't just on the battlefield. Emma Parker had been at Lincoln High for just 3 weeks, and every one of them had felt like a lifetime. New town. New school. New whispers. Her mother had passed away in a car accident 6 months earlier, and her father, who'd been trying to hold himself together, had taken a job across the state. So, Emma was living with her aunt now, in a town that didn't feel like home. She used to be talkative, full of laughter and art and dreams. Now she barely spoke at all, and maybe that's why the bullies noticed her, because she was quiet. Because she didn't fight back. On that gray afternoon, when they tripped her in the parking lot, she didn't scream. She just whispered, "Please stop." That was when Daniel Hayes heard her. He'd been waiting in his truck, engine off, just watching his son, Luke, walk out of school. Luke was 15, awkward and quiet, still learning to live without his mom. She'd died 3 years ago while Daniel was overseas. He'd missed the funeral by 48 hours. That guilt never left him. So Daniel watched his boy carefully, every day, like he was afraid to miss another moment. But that day, he saw something else, a girl on the ground, books scattered, kids laughing. And that old, buried soldier in him woke up again. He got out of the truck, his boots hitting the pavement like thunder. His voice, deep, calm, unshakable, cut through the laughter. When he told the bullies to pick up her books, they did. No questions. No attitude. Emma looked up at him, frightened and grateful all at once. He knelt beside her, helped her gather her things, and said softly, "You don't have to let them see you break. You hear me?" She nodded, though she didn't understand how someone could sound both gentle and commanding at the same time. Later, Luke asked, "Dad, why'd you step in?" Daniel just said, "Because sometimes, the right fight isn't overseas." That night, Emma's aunt stopped by Daniel's house. She'd recognized him, the veteran who'd served 2 tours, who'd lost his wife in a drunk driving accident, who'd raised his son alone while volunteering at the local community center. She thanked him, but Daniel brushed it off, just did what any decent man would, he said. But he knew the truth, most people didn't. Most people looked away. Over the next few weeks, Emma and Luke started talking, first about homework, then about music, then about life. Daniel would catch them laughing in the kitchen, and something inside him softened, something that had been hard and heavy for years. He began to see Emma like the daughter he never had. But what none of them knew was that the bullies weren't done yet. The rumors started small. A cruel meme. A fake photo. Whispered lies spreading like wildfire through the school hallways. Emma tried to ignore it, but soon, her locker was vandalized, her sketchbook ripped apart. Luke tried to stand up for her, but the bullies turned on him too. When Daniel found Luke's split lip and Emma's shaking hands, the old soldier in him stirred again, but this time, not in anger. In pain. He saw himself years ago, broken, angry, lost, and he realized something: the battlefield wasn't a place. It was life. It was grief. It was fighting the demons that people didn't see. So, instead of fighting back with fists, Daniel decided to fight differently. He went to the school board. He gathered evidence. He organized a meeting with parents, teachers, and the students themselves. But before that meeting, he visited each of the bullies. Not to threaten, but to talk. He told them what war had taught him, about loss, about kindness, about what happens when good people stay silent, and one by one, the walls they'd built began to crack. At the meeting, Daniel spoke not as a soldier, but as a father. "You think courage is about fighting," he said, voice trembling slightly. "But real courage? It's standing up when it's easier to walk away. It's protecting someone who can't fight back, not because you have to, but because you should." By the end of the meeting, the bullies had apologized publicly. Emma cried, not because she was weak, but because for the first time in a long time, she felt safe. Weeks passed. Life slowly returned to normal. Daniel began volunteering at the school, teaching self-defense and resilience workshops for teens. Luke and Emma became inseparable, best friends who'd walk through fire and come out stronger. One afternoon, as they all sat on the porch, Emma turned to Daniel and said softly, "You didn't just save me. You showed me how to fight." Daniel smiled, looking out at the sunset. "Nah," he said. "You did that yourself. I just reminded you what strength looks like." And as the light faded, the camera would linger on that image, the scarred veteran, his son, and the girl who'd found her voice, three people who'd taught each other that heroes don't always wear uniforms. Sometimes, they just show up when no one else does. You never know what battles someone is fighting, but sometimes, a single act of courage, a single person who refuses to look away, can change everything.